You know what's funny? Most traders who are actually getting better don't even realize it. They're still beating themselves up over losses, still second-guessing their entries, still scrolling Reddit at midnight wondering if they're ever going to make it. And meanwhile, something quiet is happening underneath all that noise, something that doesn't show up on their P&L yet, but it will. I've been there. And if you've been trading for any real amount of time, chances are you're closer to the turning point than you think. So today I want to walk you through 5 signs, real, honest signs, that you are becoming a profitable trader. Not you might be someday if the stars align. I mean, right now, something is shifting. Let's get sign number 1. You've stopped revenge trading, and you didn't even notice. Okay, real talk. Do you remember the first time you blew up a trade? Like the market went against you, you got stopped out, and then, almost automatically, you opened another position? Same pair, opposite direction, bigger size, just trying to get that money back? That's revenge trading. And almost every single trader does it at the start. But here's the thing. There's this moment, and it's different for everyone, where you take a bad loss and you just close your laptop, or you step away, or you journal it and move on. No revenge, no second trade out of emotion, and you probably didn't even make a big deal out of it when it happened. That's the sign. When emotional discipline becomes quiet, when you're not white-knuckling your way through it anymore but just naturally stepping back, that's not nothing. That's actually huge. That's the psychology piece clicking into place. Profitable traders aren't emotionless robots. They still feel the sting of a loss, but they've learned that the market will be there tomorrow, that one trade doesn't define their account, and that the worst decisions they'll ever make are the ones they make angry. So if you've been doing this without even thinking about it, write it down. That's a win. Sign number 2, your losers have gotten smaller, even if your winners haven't changed. Here's a question. When's the last time you had a loss that genuinely surprised you? Like, you got out of a trade and you thought, wait, how did I lose that much? If that's been a while, if your losses feel more controlled, more expected, more like, okay, that's what I risked and that's what I lost, but that's a sign. A lot of people think becoming profitable means finding better entries, finding the magic setup, the secret indicator. But honestly, for most traders, profitability starts on the downside. It's not that you suddenly start winning more. It's that you stop losing as badly. Think about it in simple math. If your average loss is $200 and your average win is $300, you need a pretty decent win rate to stay afloat. But if you cut that average loss down to $100, everything changes. Your break-even win rate drops, your psychology improves, your account stops bleeding. If you look back at your trades from 6 months ago versus now and your losses are smaller, even by a little, that's not luck, that's growth. That's you starting to respect your risk. And risk management, more than anything else, is what separates traders who last from traders who blow accounts. Sign number 3. You've stopped looking for a system and started trusting a process. Let me paint you a picture. New trader, first 6 months, they buy a course, learn a system. It works for 2 weeks, then it stops working. So they buy another course, try another system, watch some YouTube videos. Jump to futures, back to Forex, try crypto, options, scalping. Swing trading. Sound familiar? There's a name for this. Traders call it system hopping, and it's basically a trauma response to inconsistency. When something doesn't work immediately, the brain says, this is broken, find something new. But here's what actually happens when you're becoming profitable. You stop hopping. You pick something, whether that's price action, supply and demand, order flow, whatever. And you commit to it long enough to actually understand why it works and why it sometimes doesn't. You start saying things like, that trade didn't work, but I followed my rules, so it's fine. That sentence right there, that's a trader who's growing, because profitable trading isn't about a magic setup. It's about having a repeatable process, executing it consistently, and letting the probabilities play out over dozens and hundreds of trades. If you've been sticking with the same approach for a while now, even when it's frustrating, you're further ahead than you think. Sign number 4. You're thinking in percentages, not dollars. I want to share something that shifted things for me. There was a point where every trade felt personal. I'd risk $500 and I could feel it, like physically feel it. Every time the position moved, a $200 drawdown felt like losing $200, not losing 2% of my account, losing $200 that I worked hard for. And that's the problem. When you think in dollars, everything feels enormous. A $500 loss feels catastrophic even if your account is $50,000. But something changes when you start thinking in percentages and R multiples. When you start saying, I risked 1R on this trade and it stopped out, instead of I lost $300, that's a mental shift that matters more than people give it credit for. Because suddenly you're not emotionally attached to the dollar amount. You're playing a game of probabilities. You know that if your system has a positive expectancy, a string of losses is just variance, not evidence that you're a failure. This is one of those signs that's hard to fake. You either feel it or you don't. And when you start naturally calculating your risk in terms of percentage of account, when $500 feels like 1% rather than $500, you're starting to think like a professional. Sign number 5. You're bored more often. And that's actually a good thing. Okay, this last one is going to sound weird, but stay with me. Profitable trading is boring. I know that's not what social media sells you. The highlight reels, the screenshots, the I turned $500 into $30,000 in 3 weeks posts. That's not trading. That's gambling with extra steps. Real trading? It's a lot of waiting. It's watching your setups not appear for days. It's passing on trades that don't meet your criteria even though you really want to be in the market. It's sitting on your hands when everything in you says, just do something. And when you start feeling that kind of boredom, when you're comfortable with doing nothing, that's a sign. Because early on, most traders feel like they need to be in a trade to be productive. Every flat, ranging market is torture. Every quiet day feels like wasted time. But profitable traders know that capital preservation is a position. Doing nothing is sometimes the best trade you can make. If you've caught yourself saying there's nothing good out there today, and then actually not trading, that's discipline. That's patience. That's you moving in the right direction. Look, becoming a profitable trader isn't a single moment. There's no bell that rings. Nobody hands you a certificate. It's a series of small shifts. In your mindset, your habits, your relationship with loss and risk and patience. And a lot of the time, those shifts are happening while you're focused on everything that's still going wrong. So if any of these 5 signs resonated with you, even just one of them, take a second to acknowledge that. It matters. The road is long, but you're not standing still. If you found this helpful, drop a comment and let me know which sign hit closest to home for you. I read every single one. And if you want to go deeper on any of these, the psychology, the risk management, the process building, subscribe because that's exactly what we talk about here. I'll see you in the next one.